first major part has arrived. The 40 series torque converter. Yes, we're going 40 series for this bike. Don't want to mess around with the 30 series. It'd be burning belts constantly. I just don't have time for that. So this wasn't cheap. I wasn't really wanting to spend the money on this, but I thought long term it made more sense to just go ahead and get a quality product that actually can handle the engine, because the engine's quite a wild beast. There it is, it's the big block Honda GX 390. I don't want to undersize the torque converter, you know? So here you go. I'm gonna get that installed on my $100 bike. So let's go. Here is the mini bike. I know it looks goofy right now. Gas tank is temporary, so is this air intake. But that was just to test it out. I'm gonna have to rerun the throttle line. It's gonna be an issue. 40 series torque converter right there. All right, so I had to angle grind the back plate there. Down here, what I did is I had to rise up the engine. So actually this is part of a monitor mount that I had. And I took it apart, drilled a couple holes through each. And it's holding the engine up just fine. I'm a little concerned about the bolts not being good enough, so we're gonna have to buy some better bolts that are hardened steel, something like that soon. But this is one of them, but the rest are not. So that's a little concerning. That's no biggie, that's fine. I got the chain pretty much lined up perfectly with the sprocket here. Got it pretty much adjusted where it needs to be, although I don't know if that's gonna be permanent because I might have to take this apart again. That's okay. Here's the other side. No. Why did I have to rise up the engine? Because this driven unit was rubbing right here. That'd be a big no-no. That'd be a potential frame compromiser if it had plowed through that over time. Second of all, this wouldn't work at all. It'd just destroy itself. It would self-destruct. So when I was cutting the back plate also, I was being a dummy. I was cutting it like chip by chip on the bottom side. What I should have done is just gone straight across like I did here. It looks a lot cleaner than down here. But it also took like 1/10 the time to do too. So live and learn. I haven't angle grinded in quite a long time. I'm pretty rusty at it. And I need more practice for sure. I was shooting sparks everywhere. You might have noticed I was spraying a substance all over the workbench. That was soapy water. And that's just in case shit hits the fan protocol measurement, you know, in case a fire starts. There is a little bit of oil on that bench from the chainsaw. I want to take no chances, so I had to keep wetting it down. I've got this whole place cleaned up now. It is after midnight. Oh, this is what it looks like when I have tired eyes. I'm just so tired from doing this. But there it is. Yeah. I had that too. That's a shirt from my shop. And on the other side it has my name and the little goofy characters on it. But I'm done. So, all right, so I got my breakfast here. Got the bike. What I plan on doing today is we're gonna be receiving the gas tank, probably the air intake setup as well that I ordered. What I'm gonna try to do also is try to fix that fork. This little knob right here is supposed to keep the wheel from turning excessively and causing a major wreck. I thought about it. I think I can fix it without having to get a new fork, as long as the fork isn't completely rusting through. But what I was thinking about doing is drilling a hole where it was through and putting a really decent sized bolt through with nuts, kind of making that act as a replacement. And I'll see what I can do. I'm not sure if it's going to work entirely, but I'm going to try. There it is, got it finished. Drilled through, hardened steel, bolt and nuts. So the thing is, when I turn it this way, it goes much further than this way. But I will say that right about here is where it's usually at. For my other bike that's similar, this right here is a bit too much in my opinion, but it's still solid. So I'm just gonna leave it until it falls off, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side whenever the time comes. I also got my spare tire installed on the front. This is a brand new tire that's been sitting for about 5 years and just have been in the darkness. So it's like a Wanda tire or something. And the front tire that came on the bike, when I aired it up, it was foaming on both sides. The wall here of the tire on both sides was literally so dry rotted and cracked that you put a little bit of sudsy substance, like the bleach white was sudsing up and the regular soap water was sudsing up. I had to remove the old tire, put the new one on myself. It was a pain to do. It took about an hour to get it done for me personally, but it's done and it's been holding the air very well. So another thing off the checklist here. All right, I've got the throttle line rerouted. Problem is when I wrapped it around the post here, if you would try to turn the wheel, it would just put way too much tension on the cable and stop the wheel from turning properly. And it would also cause the throttle to move, which could be very, very dangerous and a bad idea. So let me show you some action here. If I pull the throttle, twist it. So I have the screw on here, which limits the RPMs. What I'm gonna do is I plan on riding with it for quite a while to get a feel for the bike before I remove it. Because since this is just a crazy engine and I'm a pretty light dude, I don't wanna kill myself right off the bat. You know, I wanna get a feel for it so I understand the throttle response before I start going all crazy with it, which I don't really plan on doing too much crazy stuff with this. Just a good old riding machine is all, just to have a little bit of fun and relax. But this is the stock carb. And then you got the air housing here. You can see the clearance for the spark plug is very close to the frame. Probably about an inch from here to there, just about. And the clearance here is even a little tighter. There's a zip tie for the throttle. I don't want it rubbing against the spark plug cap here and basically knocking it loose over time or breaking the plastic. And then I have another one here to hold the cable for where it turns and runs up the tube. All right, we've got the gas tank here. So this is everything that came with the kit. So we've got the tubing, the filters, the cap, and a little valve here and some extra bits. This is solid metal, you can hear it. Love that. Put the cap on like that. And it's, I think, about a gallon or just slightly over a gallon. It's got a nice smooth ridge here that'll go right over the pipe, just like that. I saw a review, somebody had the exact same bike pretty much. So I said, all right, I'll buy it. The only thing is, they said the bolts may not be big enough. We'll wait and see. If not, I'm gonna figure it out some way, somehow. So here's the other thing, the air intake kit. So it comes with the filter, and then it comes with an actual fuel filter. That's really cool. And it has a spark plug, and it has jets and emulsion tubes. I'm not sure what's in here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's a little cylinder to help mount everything there, including the little lever latch to keep the lever from falling off and disappearing. We've even got gaskets. right, we're gonna do a test start. There's no exhaust on it currently. That'll be here soon, but I'm probably gonna be pissing off our neighbors. But it'll be a quick start up. Make sure it's all good here. So everything looks good. Let's fire it up. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. It was shooting little sparks out. That's why I get an exhaust with a spark arrestor that also has a muffler. So that's why. You don't want to start forest fires. Okay, so you're wondering, well, why is there metal all over the floor? Here, I'll show you. The seat, the original seat that came with the bike, I wanted to keep it. So unfortunately, it is pretty broken with the mounting system, so I had to custom fabricate the mount. So this is what clips in, if I can zoom in here, right about there onto that little hook there that's welded to the frame. So that will go there and it'll slide underneath. And then this, I just did this. This metal plate came with the seat, but it was just loose. It was just literally nothing holding it in other than just friction. So this seat was about ready to fly off. And what I did is I just wiped it down with the microfiber and cleaned it up. And it's still really firm. It's not perfect condition, so, but I can work with it. So can you see that? Yep, it's underneath. There you go. It's wrapped around the little loop there. Then we take this, goes in like that. And then we just need a washer, a locking washer, and a nut, preferably. And then what I can do over here is kind of, if you want to maybe bend this back just a little bit. That's from a heat plate from one of the engines, so it wasn't being used, so I'm gonna repurpose it. All right, so I hit a minor snag here. First of all, the exhaust is definitely not gonna make enough room for a little fender here. No big deal, I don't need a fender, just extra weight, right? Second of all, to get the exhaust on, I could not get it past this little part of the back plate for the torque converter. So what I had to do was take the torque converter apart, just loosen the screws here so that it could wiggle so that I could get this past the plate, get it on. So, and then the third thing is I used the regular bolts from the original engine, but it was still loose. So what I ended up doing, and I know this is not the most optimal thing to do, is I put a couple locking washers on each side to make up the difference and just got them to where they're pretty snug, not like Gorilla tight. And this thing's solid. Look at that. Just finished removing the old cover on the seat, put on a new one, stapled it myself with Mr. Stanley, the stapler here, and some extra staples. Hey, the staple job is not perfect, but there's more than plenty to hold it down. So there, look at that. Look at that, that is cool. Oh, backside, other side here. It's pretty smooth. Here's the exhaust and the muffler. It looks so cool. I've got the muffler also reinforced right there to hold it down. I don't want it basically over time starting to bounce as we're riding, because that can damage the studs on the engine, or just completely shear off and it'd be a disaster perhaps. So time to get the seat on, and then the bike is ready. She is finished. Wow, what a transformation. So you look at the original photos. I got this bike for $100. I had a Russell 196cc engine on it. And now look at it. Look at that. It's got a big block on it. Honda GX 390. Beautiful. The seat, I did everything myself on this bike. I had no help. And that's the same with the other two bikes. I've done all the work myself. I'm so proud of it. Now the question is, what is the performance? I'm gonna make it clear right now off the bat, I don't plan on doing a top speed test on this bike. I just am absolutely not comfortable doing that. Our roads around here are crap because we live in a very northern area. We get lots of snow and the roads just turn to crap. And lots of crazy drivers around here. I'd just rather chill on this bike and just go a slower speed. I like going slower anyways. I don't mind it. So there you go. She is done. 3, 2, 1. Brakes need adjustment, but other than that, it just goes effortlessly. Like it's no big deal, just like butter.